Welcome to Creating Videos by a Dummy. In this video I'm going to show you how I create videos. I'm nothing like an expert and I hate using technology. I also dislike the process of videoing and then editing videos, but I love the end result. Being able to capture our adventures and then look back on them is a real pleasure. Anyway, here's the process that I go through. For me, the most important part is to take short shots. There's only one thing worse than trolling through hours of video looking for the interesting bits, and that is publishing hours of video of just bikes riding on a road. Although I've listed this as number 2, I think this is the most important bit. Have a story. For these shots, my story is how I'm making the video, but otherwise I wouldn't be bothered to try to make a video of just this day ride. It's just a bit too boring. So if you want anyone else to watch your video, always keep the story in mind when you're filming. Okay, let's retrieve the video. I don't use much technology. I just use a GoPro 7, which I've got mounted on the top of my helmet. The fluffy cover allows a bit of engine noise to be heard. I'm not articulate enough to talk while I'm filming, so I don't. Anyway, I find the easiest thing to do is to take the memory card out, put it on a memory card reader, and then download that onto the computer. Once the card reader is plugged into the computer, then it's just a simple matter of opening up the memory card and then navigating to where the files are. On the GoPro card there's a whole lot of files other than just the plain video files. So I just navigate down till I find the MPV files and copy them and then paste them onto a folder in my computer. I've just created a number of folders to put the various files in. So I've got one for the GoPro and I've got one for the drone, etc. Now I've got the GoPro files saved, I can go and get the ones from the drone. I use the same process. Just take the memory card out of the drone, put it into the card reader, copy it onto the computer. Bob's your uncle. Okay, now I'm ready to start editing all that raw footage. Hopefully not a huge amount of junk, but still, a lot of it will need to be thrown away. I'm just using a simple video editor that I bought on the internet. I think it cost about $35, but they all work in a very similar way. I'm starting with a bit of black space, and then I navigate to where my files are, and I always just download the GoPro stuff first, and then I'll download the drone stuff afterwards, and then decide how to mix and match them during the editing process. Now that the GoPro footage is in the editor, I just go to the end of the file, put another bit of black space in so that it's easy for me to see where the drone stuff starts, and then just do the same thing. Go and find the drone footage and download that into the editor. Now it's time to get ruthless. No one wants to see endless footage of just riding along a road, so first of all I start looking at the raw footage, working out where I want to start, double check. Yeah, I'll use some of that. Okay, so I'll just go back to where I want to trim it, highlight that trimmed area. Once it's highlighted, I can use the scissors to cut the footage, highlight the bit I don't want, and delete it. And then I continue doing that process until I've got footage that is viewable without being really boring. My rule of thumb is only to have a few seconds at a time of a piece of footage. Even if you use all of the footage that you're looking at now, sometimes I'll put one piece in one area and another piece in another. But while I'm cutting all this footage out, I'm keeping the story in mind. How am I going to narrate this video? What's the story? What is it that's going to keep the interest of the viewer? When I'm looking at the raw footage, I'm thinking, well, when I view this as a finished article, is there something of interest in this particular bit of footage, or is it just road? Right here you can see we're opening up to a bit of open countryside, and then I get Wendy to pass me. Adds a little bit more of an interest to the video rather than just looking at road. Okay, so now you can see that I'm just reviewing the video again, and I'm coming up to the point where I'm asking Wendy to stop on the side of the road. So I'm just finding that spot. Because she's following me at the moment with the camera. Where is it that I want to start the video again? Alright, I'll delete all that. Let's have another look at it. Alright, we still got stuff that's really a bit too boring here. So I'll go back and I'll edit that out as well. Right up until I'm just about to pull over again. About there will do. Okay, so I'll cut that and then cut all of that out. Now we've got a better segment of Wendy following me for a few seconds and then me pulling over and hopping off the bike. Another thing that adds interest is to vary the shots. So in this case I've got the selfie stick out. We're on a nice quiet road, so there's no danger. And so I show a bit of a varied view of the ride. Varying the shots is one thing, but having the video upside down, while it's interesting, I don't actually want it upside down in this case, so there's a tool that allows me to flick the video around so that it's right side up. And now I can show a view of down near the bike, looking at the road. I'm looking at the drone footage now. My DJI Spark doesn't fly very fast. As you can see here, I'm reviewing it. It's going very slow, which is okay sometimes, but in this instance, it's going too slow to be really interesting. So I'm changing the speed and having another look now that the speed has changed to 300. And now let's have a look at it. Okay, it's going a lot faster now, but you can see here that I'm not piloting very well, and so that it's jerky as I move the drone around. So it's a bit of a compromise. I really ought to be a better drone pilot. You can add further interest by moving the shots around. You don't necessarily have to show the shots in the sequence that you've taken them. So you can see here I'm grabbing a number of the drone footage bits and putting it part way through the video. Drone footage has no sound, so I'll either have to talk over it or add a bit of music. So for this bit of drone footage I've decided to add a bit of music rather than do any storytelling or narration over it. Now there's quite a lot of free music available via the YouTube Studio, but I'm not going to go into a YouTube Studio editorial. That's easily found on the internet somewhere. Anyway, I've saved a number of music clips that I quite like the sound of, and now I'm just grabbing that music and trying to find where it is that I need to go to. To ensure the final video looks nice and smooth when you're viewing it, the next thing I do is to add transitions. I'm just using a crossfade here of just 1 second that I'm going to put in between every one of the video clips. Once I've done that, then I'll change some of those transitions. So the beginning one, for example, I just use a circle out type transition, and I'll make that 4 seconds, so the circle slowly comes out. So let's just have a look at what that looks like. I'll just trim that black space first. Okay, so we have a look at it. The video starts by revealing the road. So now I'll do a similar thing at the end of the video. So if I just scroll to the end, I've got a bit of black space at the end as well, and I'm going to put a circle in on that one, and again just 4 seconds. So when we have a look at that, you can see that the video, I need to edit that bit of crap out, but you can see the video just closes down. Another thing I do is if the subject changes dramatically, like from a drone footage back to road, you can see that there's drone footage and then suddenly there's road. Well, I change that transition to a page turn, just so it's obvious that we're going from one scene to the next, and I'll just make that a couple of seconds. So now if we have a look at it again, we've got the drone footage and then transition to the road again. Once I'm pretty happy that I've only got interesting video left, now it's time to tell the story. And I just use my iPhone headset for this. Very simple. And here's why I don't talk while I'm filming. Welcome to another video. In this video we're going to, oh bugger, let's do that again. Welcome to Creating Videos by a Dummy. Even though I'm going to show a little bit of the ride that we did the other day, this really is about, what is it about? Oh, poo. The last step in the process, once I'm happy with everything and have reviewed it, is to export the video. Now, depending on your editor, there'll be a different process for this, but I'm just picking the settings that I've found work for me, and then I'll save that finished file to my computer, ready for downloading to YouTube. There are any number of tutorials on how to download to YouTube, so I'm not going to cover that. This is just my experience of how I produce my videos. I use the minimum amount of technology and the most basic of video editors. To me, it's the story that's the biggest attraction to watching a YouTube video. So stick around, here's the rest of our ride. It's just a short ride today, just getting out in the sunshine and getting the oil circulated in the bikes. These are just some local roads. This bit of road used to be dirt. It's now smooth, beautiful bitumen. Excellent. Anyway, we're out in the countryside, enjoying each other's company and enjoying the views. There's nothing like a bit of nice, twisty country road. And as an added bonus, this is only a few kilometres from home. Winding up the hills in the Wadigan Forest, in the Lake Macquarie district of New South Wales. It's a real treat to have a resident riding buddy always available to accompany me on these rides. And of course it adds extra interest to the video to see Wendy riding her bike as well as just me looking at the road. But it's not all about riding, sometimes it's good to stop and soak up the scenery. If you're still watching, congratulations for sticking it out this long. While it's nice to have other people appreciate my videos and watch them, the primary reason for my video creation is just for us to look back and use it as memories. Because who knows how long it's going to be till these old farts can't have this sort of adventure anymore.